Kutztown. Roll Bears.
Every time that I look in the mirror, all the lines in your face get clearer.
The excitement, the tension building, the Olympic Center filling to capacity.
You're watching Kutztown Hockey, only on Nick's Hockey Broadcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the rinks back on Long Island as Kutztown will be taking on for the second and final time this season, the Stony Brook Seawolves. Now, there's been a lot of strange circumstances happening within these last few hours. So for Kutztown, originally this game was supposed to take place at Islanders Iceworks, where Kutztown took on the Farmingdale State Rams 15 days ago. Actually, the Seawolves played there just last night against Farmingdale, but apparently 2 days ago there was a change in the schedule where Kutztown actually had to come here at the rinks to play the Seawolves. I'm not sure why they had to change it, but they did. So, and actually, to be honest, I had no idea that we were coming here until we got on the bus. So, definitely a bit of a surprise, a rink I have never been to, as well as a lot of other players. So there was that would happen. Before this game, actually, we got to watch the Stony Brook Seawolves ACHA D1 team take on the Syracuse Orange. That game ended in a 5-4 overtime win for Syracuse. And one thing that's crazy that happened, it was at the beginning of overtime. The puck went out of play. A group of Kutztown players, including myself, were watching the game, and one puck went out of play over the glass and hit the face of freshman number 17, Connor McGinty. His dad is in attendance, and I'm actually the one who informed him about that incident. It hit Connor on the outside of his eye, his right eye, I believe, but he appears to be okay. Almost wondering if he's going to need a eye patch, like a pirate or something, but he's actually down near the bench right now, so he's okay to go. So there's that happened to, which is pretty crazy to say the very least. Kutztown is coming off short rest, as well as the Seawolves. Kutztown played last night against the Rutgers University as they lost to the Scarlet Knights 4-1. The only goal for Kutztown coming from that, Dan. We'll talk about more in-depth detail of that game, as well as the Seawolves game against Farmingdale last night a little bit later on. Inactives for tonight's game. Several players out for both teams. We'll first talk about who's out for Stony Brook. Number 9, Andrew Martin. Number 17, Nicholas Sinta. Number 42, Brett Goldergrad. Number 71, John Broka. And that's out. That's about it. Who's out for the Seawolves? Inactives for Kutztown. Number 36, Jacob DeLazio. Number 63, Matt Flynn. And number 73, Evan Curtis. Time for tonight's star goaltenders. In net for the Stony Brook Seawolves, number 30, Nicholas Gatagno. 2-5-0. Goals against average 5.04, save percentage of .871. And in net for the Kutztown Golden Bears, finally getting another start, is one of the newest goaltenders at the Kutztown's roster this year, number 35, Landon King. 0-2-0. Goals against average 6.53, save percentage of .838. Last time Landon King got any action of any kind was all the way back on October 10th against the St. Joseph Hawks, as he saved 26 of 30. He also split the crease with Zach Tucci in the first game of the year, and also against the St. Joseph Hawks. And they started a game against the Farmingdale Rams, was pulled after allowing 5 goals. After allowing 4 goals within 9 shots. So he gets a big opportunity to get a start for Kutztown. There he is, skating towards the boards. I had to actually kind of rush myself to get set up here. There was another broadcast up here, Long Island Sports. Nothing on them, but I was actually kind of in a hurry to set this whole thing up for this broadcast today. And sorry if I had any grammar errors talking to her in pregame. It's just, as I was saying, I was in a bit of a hurry, so I'm still just getting settled up here as warm-ups are about to conclude here, and this one's about to get underway. We'll be back for the first period.
Tonight, we skateboard. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
First period between the Golden Bears and Seawolves is about to get underway. These two teams last met a little bit ago back in Body Zone, where Kutztown defeated the Seawolves, a final score of 7-2. We'll talk more in depth about what happened in that game a little bit later on. Kutztown losing to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 4-1 last night. The Seawolves losing to the Farmingdale State Rams 5-3. Kutztown a record of 5-10-1. The Seawolves a record of 3-10. That record might not be fully accurate. That's the record I was able to calculate based off their scores on the ACHA website. If that's wrong, I apologize. There's been a bit of a mix-up for team records with the whole thing going on with the AAU and ACHA right now. But regardless, this game is about to begin. Landon King, his second career start, and his third ever game being played with the Kutztown Golden Bears. The first line will be Matt Dan, Bailey Slutwinski, Liam O'Neill, Aiden Easton, and Jackson Foster. And here we go. Puck is dropped at exactly 10 p.m., and we are underway. It's the Golden Bears and the Seawolves. Come to think of it, with this 10 o'clock start, actually this game was supposed to start at 9:30, but with us dropping the puck now, this is tied for the latest game in Kutztown's recent years. They had a game against the Cornell Big Red a few years ago in Ithaca, New York, and that game actually was supposed to start at 10. We were supposed to start at 9:30. But regardless, the game has begun. A great broadcast view for this game at the rinks. Jackson Foster will take the puck behind the goal. Trolls it here to the high spot. Isak, and that shot's blocked down by the goaltender, Gadagno. Gadagno started initially against the Golden Bears back in October as he makes a glove save. That game was all the way back on October 11th where he saved 34 of 39. Eventually, he was pulled in the third period in relief for James Palma. Stony Brook actually had initially a 1-0 lead against the Golden Bears in that game, but then Kutztown took over as they won that one 7-2. Try to whack it in front of the goal there. Backhand shot is blocked it. That was from Griffin Carpenter, and Gadagno's going to hold on and squeeze. So, again, we were supposed to play at Islanders Iceworks. I hope I didn't confuse any parents for coming to the wrong rink, but I think everyone is more well-informed than I was. I mean, it says on game sheet we were supposed to play, not on the Kutztown Ice Hockey website, but that's okay. We all got here at the right place anyway. Here's Anello with a shot. Pad save by Gadagno. Rebound. That whistles wide by Griffin Carpenter. Antonio Anello hits it off the boards. Down to Carpenter. Behind net. Hits the side of the cage. Trying to whack after the puck is Molotov, and he couldn't get it. Seawolves move back. This is Shorkin. With 2 goals last night for the Seawolves against Farmingdale. He leads the team in goals and points. 10 goals, 5 assists for 15 points. And he played very well against the Golden Bears last time, scoring a goal against the Maroon and Gold. Sorkin steals it. He scores! Sorkin! And just like last time, these Seawolves get a 1-0 lead early in the first period. The 5th shot on net for, actually no, the 4th shot on net for Stony Brook is a goal. Or at least that's what it says. No, I'm sorry, it's the 1st shot on net. I got confused with the shots clock there. It says 4 shots for Kutztown. My mistake, but Sorkin scores his 11th of the season. It's deja vu. Like, the Seawolves were up 1-0 early in the game against Kutztown back in October, and they do it yet again. So it's 1-0 Stony Brook. It's the second and final time these two teams will meet this season. Chasing after this puck is Justin Tanjuco, who scored his first goal 2 games ago against the Columbia University Lions. And they'll whack this back to the corner. Vortudov was the one to play it there. Center it back and take it by Tenjuko, the sophomore. Lost one ahead for Mendham. He's got space. Mendham shoots. At whistles wide and deflects out of play. So this rink here, the Rinks, was built in 1992. It's 23 miles northeast of the rink where we thought we were going to be playing tonight at Islanders Iceworks. And this rink, I should say the Rinks, just to be clear on that, is the home of the PAL Junior Islanders, a team in the United States Premier Hockey League. I called a few games involving the Islanders before, not for them. It's when I called some games with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights and New Jersey Renegades, and there was a few games where they just so happened to be playing the Islanders. They have 3 teams in USPHL, an Elite Premier and NCDC. Actually, I did a game for the Islanders against the Renegades not too long ago. The Islanders won 6-5 in overtime. Jansen with the outlet pass to Foster. Shooting one, that is blocked on the roof. Jansen, a rebound, that goes wide. Jansen got his first regular season goal as a Golden Bear 2 games ago. And he'll go to Jackson Foster. He's shoved off his side there by Vortudov. And the Seawolves will move back on the left wing. That wrister goes right into the glove of Landon King. And he'll squeeze with 16:51 to go in the first period. 1-0 Stony. Brook shots in that are 6-1 in favor of the Seawolves. Tie-up is won defensively by the Golden Bears. Foster checked from behind. Sorkin, the recent goal scorer. Saturday! That's blocked there by Liam O'Neill. Good chances for Stony Brook, less than 5 minutes in, and as I was saying earlier, they have the 1-0 lead. O'Neill towards the wing of Matthew Dan, who scored his 7th goal as a Golden Bear and of the season last night, ending the shutout for Rutgers goaltender Lucas Cohn. It played great. They're trying to wrap it around there. That was set up by Dan. No one there to tip it home for KU. And Nella towards O'Neill center. Isak whiffed on the shot, and it's patted down there by Gadagno. Holisay intercepted. Here's Ritz, and that's blocked. Ritz gets it right back, shooting one, and that's blocked down. And Kutztown will attempt to keep in the play, and they will. Ritz towards the corner of Matthew Dan. He'll skate it on by, almost lost his stick, and it's going to be backhanded to the side there. Seawolves will attempt to clear it on out. Sorkin couldn't get it past O'Neill, but then it's brought back the other way by Duane, I beg your pardon. Duane has it behind the goal. Sent one back to the slot. And shot back in from the right point. That was made there by Vortudov. And now the puck is taken by Aiden Isak. He'll move through neutral ice. Curves to the left side. Nice play to Canestra. Canestra dangles around as he couldn't get a shot on goal. Isak flips it back to Canestra. He skates back to the right circle. Canestra moving to the left side again. Turns around, chipped off his stick, and goes off of the stick plate of Duane, and he'll flip it past the blue line. And off the high glass end, they're going to call that offside. For a second, I thought they made a premature out-of-play signal there, but they did not, because that puck did not hit the safety netting, I don't believe. Or maybe it did possibly. But I think they called the whistle for offsides, and they did. This face-off will be for Molotov against Vortudov, and it's won by the Seawolves. It's a shot from long range and goes wide. Stony Brook will control in the left circle and brought back towards the high slot. A wrist shot's tipped on route there by Mancini. That went off of Mancini. Cleared back into the Stony Brook zone. Shot back towards the right point. Tenjuko trying to battle for that one. And Mancini will try to get it through Carpenter. Unable to get past his body. This will be backhanded to Tenjuko as he skates back into his own zone here. Asher Paul putt to Carpenter. At center, nobody there for Kutztown to bring it into the zone. And this is whacked off the stick of Canestra and into the Stony Brook bench. So last night was what I call the Friday night lights, as Kutztown played the Scarlet Knights, as the lights at Powerplay Rinks were shining bright, but for the road team in Rutgers, as they defeated Kutztown 4-1, shots in net were 33-32 in favor of Rutgers University. Jamie Zimmerman scored twice. He scored the first goal and the last goal for the Scarlet Knights. And then a little bit later on, at least at some point, Rutgers was up 3-0. Matthew Dan got Kutztown on the board. Although the biggest obstacle for Kutztown, besides their struggles on the power play, definitely was the goaltender, Lucas Cole. We'll get back to that later. Here comes Stony Brook on that save by Landon King. Good play made by the young goaltender for Kutztown as he denies the stick there of Fortikov. Well, back to what I was saying, Kutztown got on the board from Matthew Dan, but eventually Rutgers got a 4-1 lead with a few minutes to go in the game. It was the only power play goal of the game where Rutgers went up 4-1, and that would end it. Although the shots in there were pretty close for the most part. Foster Arister looking for McGinty, I believe, and he missed him wide. So he checked up back towards the right corner by Skylar Lynn. Frutikovic will attempt to skate on back, and here comes Sorkin, who scored several minutes ago. Sorkin trying to get past Swalwinski, shot on the angle, and Landon King has got it. And actually, is that a goal signal I see? Hold on a second here. Where's the puck? The official gave the goal signal, I believe. No one is reacting. What do we have here? It's a goal! 2-0 Stony Brook. The puck got past Landon King. I think they're going to give it to Sorkin. Okay, I mean, there's the goal horn. It's 2-0 Stony Brook. Sorkin gets his second of the game. 2 goals for Sorkin in 7 minutes and 1 second. And he gets his 12th of the season. That almost reminds me a bit when Patrick Kane won the Stanley Cup for the Chicago Blackhawks back in 2010, where next to no one knew the puck was in the net. Although in that case, the only person that knew the puck was in at the time was Kane himself. In this case, only the official knew. Maybe Sorkin knew as well, but man, that was definitely a strange one. I never saw the puck. I guess it was, I was going to say, where that shot went to Landon King, he seemed to not be sure where it was, and I see why. It's past the goal line, and so it's 2-0 Seawolves. Stony Brook scored 2 goals against Kutztown last time, but they were never up by 2. They were only up by 1 at one point. 2 goals on 4 shots for the Seawolves. Stony Brook, who only has 3 wins on the year, they've lost 6 of their last 7 games. Kutztown has yet to win back-to-back games this year, as they almost had back-to-back wins that they would have beaten Rutgers last night, but they were not able to do so there. And now this will be Hawase, who will shoot it on down towards the corner. We'll get a brief line change for Stony Brook. There's only 14 skaters for the Seawolves in this game tonight, as they have a bit of a small roster like we saw last time against Stony Brook back in October. Curl this back to the corner, controlled there by Duan. Duan towards the point, controlled by Skylar Lynn. Trying to move on by, I thought he might have been tripped up by Torin Grealish, but he seemed to fall on his own power as play continues on. This puck is stuck there on the corner, and it's going to be flipped there by, it appeared to be Jansen. It is, and they'll clear it down. No icing, as Kutztown will get a line change and fresh legs. Lynn almost ran into his own teammate, that was Moseni. And Sorkin, who already has 2 goals, obviously you're going to have a hat-trick watch on him, and we haven't even passed the halfway point of the first period, which is absolutely crazy. Matthew Dan in his zone, so backhand, it's going to be chased relentlessly by Isak, trying to break the icing. No call there as the puck goes off the bare chest of Isak, as it was trying to be cleared there by Gadagno. Here's Swabwinski with a shot tipped en route. It's poke checked away there by Gadagno. And Tenjuku manages to just keep it onside. Towards the circle is O'Neal. Isak controls. Isak trying to center it. It's blocked off a Seawolves stick. They'll try to skate on by Mancini. He'll give the puck unintentionally to Liam O'Neal. Center is for Dan, and he misses it wide. Big hit, or a slight hit is made by Isak on the corner. He attempted to take down Latham, and we've just passed the halfway point of the first period. As Stony Brook, this time being the home team, leads 2-0. Daniel Sorkin almost gets checked by Isak. He'll skate on the wing, coming in over the line, a 1-on-4. Nice move around Molotov. Drops it back. Nobody there for the Seawolves to get a chance. This clearing attempt by Asher Paul. Puck goes off of Sorkin. And cleared ahead there by Butteritvich. Asher Paul putt. Towards the stick of Gavin Molotov. And this puck rolls back through center. Almost off the stick of Tanjuko. And control behind that. They're centering in front. They score! 3-0 Seawolves! Johnson Butteritvich scores in front of the net of King. And only 11 minutes into the game, only 5 shots in net for the Seawolves. They're up 3-0. That's his first goal of the season. And Landon King's night is over. I think he threw his stick over the glass. He threw his gloves up in frustration. He calmly puts his mask down. And in relief for Landon King is number 77, Zach Tucci. 1-4-1 goals against average 4.05. Save percentage of .905. Tucci's never played against Stony Brook. When the Golden Bears played the Seawolves back in October, Jay Jenny started and played the entirety of that game. And the blink of an eye, it's been honestly the worst case scenario for the Golden Bears, but for the Seawolves, you can't ask for anything more. Or can you? They've scored 3 within 11 minutes. We'll see if they can do more. Puck goes to the left circle. That shot whistles wide by the recent goal scorer, Dr. Torres. They'll try to get another shot that's blocked. Comes to the high spot. Rister saved, shoots it with his blocker, denying the forward in front. And Canestra is going to have it on the right side. Chase gets around a body. Backhand shot blocked down by Gadagno as the puck goes right in front of him in the blue paint and holds on. It's actually 13 skaters for the Seawolves. I was just counting the players on the bench. And for Kutztown, this is actually the second straight game they're playing a team that's shorthanded. At least for the Seawolves, this is a normal amount of players they seem to have. But the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they only have 15 skaters, but they have at least 20. I'm not saying like it's for a team that's shorthanded, it's like the biggest disadvantage in the world, but it's definitely not an advantage. Right? For Kutztown, they always have at least a few scratches because they have a lot of players on the roster. What I'm trying to say is it's definitely damning to see how they've been struggling against teams that have had lesser rosters in terms of the number of players. But you know what? If the players on the teams that have a lower number of forwards and defensemen, if they're talented enough, that's all that matters. Sorkin drops it on back, intended by the stick there of Duan, but he couldn't hold on to it. In a way, it kind of reminds me of the first team I ever broadcasted, the Southern Lehigh Spartans. We only had 12 skaters and a goaltender, and we ended up making the finals the next year. We won a championship the year before, but at that point we had 17 skaters and a goaltender, actually 2 goalies. So it's not impossible to win games with a less amount of players, although you wouldn't see that typically in the NHL. But anyways, tad less than 7 minutes to go in the first as Stony Brook, a surprising 3-0 lead. And you know, actually that's going to be nice. It's definitely got to be frustrating for Landon King. As I was saying, he split the crease with Zach Tucci in the first game of the year. Then he started against Farmingdale, was taken out of the game after saving 5 out of 9 shots within the first period, allowing several goals against the Ramapo Roadrunners, including one that being shorthanded. And then he started against St. Joseph's, as I said earlier, and that game he played pretty well. He had to wait a month and a half at least to get at least some sort of ice time He finally gets it against against Stony Brook tonight, and he allows 3 goals within 5 shots, and his night's already over. Jay Jenny is here, by the way, the main starting goaltender for Kutztown, but he is a scratch. He's in street clothing right now on the Kutztown bench. They'll have the face-off now in the offside dot for Sorkin. Big check is made there on Aiden Isak off that face-off. The hit was made there in front there of the blue line. I'm trying to look at my roster sheet. My eyes are kind of blurry right now. The hit was made by Bortnikov. It's Shavidi Vorkov. There's actually 2 Vorkovs. There's Shavidi Vorkov and Nikita Vorkov. If I'm actually a little behind at any point of how I'm pronouncing the Stony Brook names, I apologize. Again, I was saying, kind of rushing to get set up here. Didn't have enough time to look at the roster sheets. I was putting together notes, but I'm not trying to make excuses. But when I don't have enough time to prepare at the rink, I kind of struggle a little bit in the first period. But I got a feeling you guys watching this later on might not really even notice. But I like to be honest with myself when it comes to calling these games. But anyways, enough about me. Kutztown still down by 3. O'Neill for the tie-up. Matthew Dan will give it to Jackson Foster. And O'Neill hits it off the boards. We still have a lot of time in this one if the Golden Bears are to come back, but it's not looking too pretty. Despite the fact they're down 3-0, the Golden Bears are out shooting Stony Brook 9-6 as of right now. And the Seawolves move back the other way. Nikita Vorokov turns back, centering, intended in front, saved by Chuchi. Rebound the crease, and now he skipped on wide. The guy that was in front of the net appeared to be Lynn, I think. Trying to see what all those bodies in front. Gersten. That would be skated there by Skylar Lynn. Lane on the corner, center in front, and couldn't tip it home. Swapwinski off a few sticks there. And control it back by Foster. Back to Swapwinski. Actually, no, I think he tried to give it to Bailey. It's covered by Zach Chuchi. I don't know why they waited that long to call play dead. He clearly was going to hold on, but eventually Chuchi gets the whistle with 4:57 to go. Mentioned this in last night's game against Rutgers, but earlier in the week, the Empire Collegiate Conference and the ECHC named their 3 stars of the week last week. Our first star was Chase Canestra with 4 goals, 3 assists for 7 points last week. And Aiden Easton, the second star, with 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Third star being Chris D'Andra with 1 goal, 3 assists, and 4 points for the Farmingdale State Rams. D'Andra actually scored the 5th goal for Farmingdale against the Stony Brook Seawolves last night. It ended up being the last goal of the game. Ritz almost keeps it in the zone. He does. He'll back him one to the corner. Carpenter tried to set one towards the wing, and Canestra was unable to hold on. Antonio Onella keeps it in play and be controlled on back by Cole Belly Alcana. Anella, I should say, I beg your pardon. Carpenter will take it. He tried to grip the shot, and that goes wide. They almost get a breakaway pass there for Duan, and they couldn't get it to him. I'll be honest, I don't think the fans are really noticing, but I'm not calling my best first period, but to be fair, I guess I'm struggling with the team too in a way. But I think the players would rather have a struggling announcer for a game than a struggling score. But anyways, Cadagno will sweep it inside and be taken by Asher Paul Putt near the bench. Flips it on down, slight line change for both teams. Orthikov ahead. Here comes the Seawolves. This is Duan. Duan centers in front. Intended for Sorkin. Almost getting the hat trick. And it's denied by Chuchi. Crazy enough to get a hat trick in a game. If Sorkin's able to get it in the 1 period alone, it's amazing. And Leon shot's denied by the left pad of Cadagno. The 10th shot on net for Kutztown, and yet they're down by 3. Ginty's on the ice now. Again, if you can catch it earlier, he was hit nearly in the eye by a puck earlier. Backhand scores! I was just talking about him. It's Sorkin. He's got the hat trick. 4-0 Seawolves, and we're still in the first period. Daniel Sorkin. I was talking about how well he played against Kutztown back in October. And I gotta say, coming into the game, he leads the team in goals and points with 15. Now he's got 13 goals this season. And Kutztown, I mean, there's no such thing as an announcer's jinx. If you're gonna blame me for sorting you in the hat trick after less than a minute ago, I was saying if you were to get one in the first period, it'd be crazy. There's no such thing as an announcer's jinx. But what a play by Sorkin is. He got that puck glove side of Zach Tucci. And that's 4 goals on 8 shots on net. Crazy stuff for young Seawolves. Again, only 3 wins on the year, according to the ACHA said. They may have a few more that I'm not aware of, unfortunately. And that backhand shot goes wide. Vortikov. Big hit by Josh Bauer. I think that play was made by Bauer more for the sake of frustration. He took down Cole, no, defenseman wearing 73 in white, red, and blue. Or red, white, and blue, I should say. 2.5 to go in the period. Still 4-0 Seawolves. Leone whacking free. He had his first goal of the year against Columbia last Sunday. And now it'll be controlled on back there by Brandon Gearstein. Sean Ward will take it here. Good to see Ward back in the lineup. He lost the puck as it will be taken there briefly by Vortikov, and they couldn't come up with a play. And now it's Jansen. 2-on-2. Wristing one now will go wide of the goal. Jansen taking behind Gretzky's office, and what I mean by that is behind the net. He gets hit down on the corner by the body there in front by Mancini. Jansen relentlessly still going after it, and it's whacked there by Sean Moore towards the corner. Connor Ritz just keeps it onside. Torrin Grewis, the rookie, still looking to get his first point in college hockey. Gearstein trying to cut on through Anella. No look pass in front. That was a nice play. He was looking for Sorkin, who already has 3 goals in the period. Alisay lost it. Jansen getting it. Alisay gets the puck right back. Falling down there is Connor Ritz, and that's going to be our first penalty of the game. It'll be for tripping. The Golden Bears will go on the power play, a much-needed one as they trail by 4. Unfortunately, based off the college game sheets I have, it does not include stats for power plays, but I can tell you for a fact that Kutztown couldn't get anything going on their power plays last night. They had some decent setups, but not many great chances. They're going to need it to get some good shots on net right now. This power play will briefly go into the second period unless Kutztown scores within the next minute 07. O'Neal will go for the face-off, and he wins it cleanly. And Nella on the point, skating toward the right side. O'Neal lost possession, and the Seawolves cleared all the way down. Latham was the one to shoot it down. Tucci will leave it for Nella. Last minute to play in the first period. O'Neal on the wing gets taken down there by Latham. Good two-way play to kill some time. And Nella over the line. Try to cut on through. He falls down on the corner. Matthew Dan, who lived within the Long Island region growing up. And he used to play at Islanders Ice Works. I'm not sure if he used to ever play here. He might have at some point, as Antonio Nella shots patted down there by Gadagno. 22 seconds left on the clock. Leone a wrister, that missed it wide. Mancini trying to hold on to the puck in the corner, and now it's going to be held there by Latham. Another good two-way play, like 53, red, white, and blue. 9 seconds left. That shot saved there by Gadagno. The Seawolves attempt to good they can. Anella, he scores! Antonio Anella rips it past Gadagno. Power play goal, buzzer beater with 3.4 seconds left. And the Golden Bears get a much-needed one. They're now trailing by 3. It's 4-1, Stony Brook. That is Tony's second goal of the season for the junior defenseman. He had no goals his freshman year, and he had 2 official goals last year. Really, it was 3 because he had an unofficial shootout winner against Alabama, but according to the official stats, that's now 2 straight seasons for the defenseman having 2 goals. So he gets his second of the season. And for Tony, the last time he scored was back on November 7th against the Farmingdale State Rams. And so it's 4-1 Stony Brook after one. Shots in net 13-8 in favor of the Golden Bears. We'll be back for the second period. Second period between the Golden Bears and Seawolves is about to get underway. It is 4-1 in favor of Stony Brook. Shots in net 13-9 in favor of the Golden Bears, and yet they are down by 3. Daniel Sorkin with the natural hat trick. The only thing unnatural about it is that he did it in the first period alone. Jonathan Vaktarovich got his first of the season. Those were the 4 goals for Stony Brook. And then late in the period, with 3.4 seconds left on the power play, Antonio Anella scored his second goal of the season. Landon King started the game, but allowed 4 goals on 8 shots. He's been pulled and replaced by Zach Chucci. William O'Neill and Nick Leone will get the assists on the Antonio Anella goal. For O'Neill, that is point number 5 of the season. And for Leone, that's his 3rd point of the season. Maroon jerseys are honestly my favorites. I don't own any. This is one from a friend of mine. The only jersey I do have is the military jerseys from 2 years ago. Those ones are nice, but the maroon ones are my favorites, personally. And we have a bit of a delay here. They appear to be fixing something with the ice on the blue paint, logging to the net of Nicholas Gadagno. I'm not sure if there's a hole there or they're trying to clear something up here. We're about to get underway, but this is going to halt the beginning of the period by at least a few minutes here, I would imagine. And one thing I wanted to mention earlier, but I think now's a better time to say, is that for Kutztown, this is their last game until Turkey Day. They will be off next week. And then on Friday, December 10th, they'll come back to New York again for another road trip. This time they'll be going to Queens, New York, Ice World. They take on the Columbia University Lions. That'll be Kutztown's last game of this first semester, and then they'll be off until January 16th. Now, again, unless I'm wrong, because I've been looking on the ACHA site for Stony Brook's schedule. According to the schedule on the ACHA site, it suggests that this is Stony Brook's last game. And I'm not sure if this is right, but it says their next game after this is until January 31st, which is 60 days from today. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Again, these leagues are not like the NHL or AHL or ECHL where all the stats are always precise. Like these college club leagues, not that I'm putting a finger at anyone, but they're not always fully accurate. But with that said, if that's true, that's definitely a long break for the Seawolves. But I think they're happy on how the game has gone so far. But we still have 2 full periods of play left to be done here at the rinks. Whatever issue they had in the Stony Brook crease, that appears to have been subsided and fixed. And now the second period is going to get underway. Liam O'Neill with the face-off against Daniel Sorkin. Second period finally commences. And it's taken away there by the Seawolves. And that will go wide. That chance from Sean Duan was 1 goal, 9 assists for 10 points this season. Now this puck is going to slither all the way down through neutral zone past the Kutztown bench. One thing I want to mention is that for Kutztown, it took about 3.5 hours for them to get here at the rinks tonight. And the first time in 2 years, we actually watched Miracle on the bus, courtesy of Josh Bauer. We watched Miracle heading to Lake Placid 2 seasons ago. Many players on the Kutztown roster now were not on that team. So for them, it was their first time watching it. Nothing beat watching Miracle heading to actually Lake Placid. It's funny because the movie ended by the time we actually arrived at the town, as Kutztown defeated Buffalo State 6-5 that same day. That was in the 2023 Burning Leaves tournament. But anyways, enough about the pass back to this game. This is Duan on the left wing, trying to set one to Sorkin, who already has 3 goals. Can he get 4? He might try to do it here, but he had the puck and he fell down on his own balance. Ritz hits it off the boards. So Kutztown down by 3. 18 and a half minutes to go in the period as that one goes out of play, and we still have another period to go after this one. Kutztown has a record of 1-3 when allowing 4 goals in a game this season. That's if the score ends up staying that way. Saying Stony, Brook, if they were to score no more goals today. And that shot is saved there by the glove hand of Kutztown as he saves his 14th shot. Molokov for the face-off. One is Carpenter will swing it back to Canestra behind the goal. Canestra centering Molokov, and that was stuffed there by the pad of Kutztown. To the point, it's Ritz. Alex Jansen shooting. Easy glove save. Kutztown, and he'll hold on with 18:20 to go in the second period. So last night, Stony Brook played the Farmingdale State Rams. Stony Brook had a 2-0 lead in the first period, but the Rams proceeded to score 4 unanswered goals. They had a 4-2 lead entering the third period. Daniel Sorkin scored twice last night, making a 1-goal game, so they're down 4-3. But eventually, Chris DeSandro, who was the third star of the week last week in the Empire Collegiate Conference, sealed the deal for the Rams as they defeated Stony Brook 5-3. So again, Stony Brook has lost 6 of their last 7, so they've been a bit of a skid as of late. But so have the Golden Bears too. As Kutztown, as of right now, in their last 5 games, they're 1-3-1. Sorry for that delayed response. I'm just counting up the scores we've had. So they're 1-3-1 in their last 5. Only 3 points accounted for that time as Kutztown makes the save with his glove. During first intermission, I went down to the scores box talking to members of Stony Brook running the score sheet tonight, and I was talking about with them if they even had an idea if the Daniel Sorkin second goal went to the back of the net, and even they didn't know. So truly, no one knew but the official, which is crazy. And they were even telling me, I noticed they delayed playing their goal horn. Nice hits made by Josh Bauer and Anthony Barreri. He'll get a shot on goal. It's saved there by Kutztown, and he'll hold on with the glove. It's definitely getting kind of feisty only a few minutes into the period and starting some verbal altercations. And like I was saying earlier, this game was supposed to begin at 9:30, it became at 10. At this rate, the game is probably going to end past midnight. And it took 3.5 hours just to get here, so Kutztown's probably going to get back to Kutztown itself. At least, I would think at minimum 3 a.m. It is Saturday night at least. Tomorrow's not a school day. And back come the Seawolves on the wing. They'll get a wrister, and that goes wide by Anthony Barreri. And actually, come to think of it, I forgot tomorrow's Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on the Dallas Cowboys, and it is the NFL Sunday, so Week 13 coming up. Interesting games in the NFL playoff hunt. This will be Leon with space. Shooting one. Saved there by Kutztown. The puck goes up into the air. Gravity brings it down behind the goal as the Seawolves hit it off the glass. Anella, the goal scorer for Kutztown, unable to keep it in the zone for long. Sorkin on the left wing with the hot stick. Gets past Tanjuka. Goes to the net as he couldn't get a clear shot. He slightly touched the puck and it kind of went off the pad there of Chuchi, but didn't have much power to it. Josh Bauer on the corner, intending for Leon. Centering pass for Sorkin, couldn't get a shot on goal. O'Shaney, wearing 7 in red, white, and blue. Golden Bears making a change now. Shot back in past the blue line by Anthony Barreri. Foster around to the corner for Matthew Dan. Shot from the point, tipped in front by Sorkin, almost getting his fourth there, and it deflected off of Chuchi. Isak on the point. Gets it to Foster. Now it's Dan rushing on the left wing. He's got O'Neal and Isak. Dan trying to bust through the defense as he got taken down. Picked up by Swawinski. Waits, delays, shoots. Tapped aside there by Gadagno. Judan, for 68. Flips it on in. This puck bounces towards the stick of Jimmy, a.k.a. Jackson Foster. Sorkin, attending the center, it deflected off a Kutztown stick. I believe that went off of O'Neal. Out through center is Deputy Cole. Shoot it on in. This will be a delayed offside on the Seawolves. Breakaway. Aiden Isak. He's all the way open, and he couldn't finish it. Isak all alone. Nobody was near him. He might have been stick handling a bit too much. As I think the grad student, the former Bryn Anthony Lion, is going to be very frustrated with that. That was a glorious chance to potentially get Kutztown back within 2. They're still trailing by 3. Now it's Canesta, but he was offsides by a country mile. That's the other thing to mention for Isak on that golden opportunity is that he happened to not pass the blue line first, so it was a clean onside play. So the grad student who's had a great season this year is definitely going back to the bench, rethinking some things. Isak's 13 goals, 6 assists for 19 points. He is tied with Chase Canesta for most goals on the team. Kutztown has almost doubled the shots on net against Stony Brook, as the shots on net are 17-9 Golden Bears. But they're down by 3. 2-on-1 developing. Molokov with Carpenter. Molokov waits, shoots, hit the crossbar. He hit the iron with the rubber. He tried to go top side as the goaltender's best friend saves the day for Stony Brook. Now it's Jansen with space through the 5-0 Gadagno, but he doesn't go past it enough. He closes it just in time to keep the puck out of harm's way, at least from the perspective of the Seawolves. This will be Molokov for the offensive faceoff against Sorkin. 2 outstanding offensive players. Jansen on the point. Seems to be playing defense actually tonight. Was not informed of that until just seeing it just now. Sorkin trying to control the puck. He lost his stick. He unintentionally threw it towards the crease. A big hit's made there on Asher Paul punt, and that puck ricochets off the safety netting. Sorkin and Bauer for the tie-up. Won by Sorkin, but it was then collected by Carter Ritz. Leone on the corner. Controlled on back by Latham. And Bauer's going to regain the puck for KU. Through center on the right wing, coming it over the line. Bauer centering there, intended for Colin Menhem, a.k.a. the Muffin Man. And now he has it on the corner for a brief second. And again, for context, that puck was out of play. We call him the Muffin Man because when we last went up to upstate New York, which was 2 weeks ago, we had muffins as a little treat on the bus. He only had 2, but all the players did a little prank, leaving around 30 muffin wrappers on his seat when he was in the bathroom in the back of the bus. And now we call him, or at least I call him, the Muffin Man. Kind of referencing that famous scene from Shrek. Wrap around! Mendem unable to finish it. I was just talking about him, and he was unable to finish it. Funny how I talk about Sorkin and he scores, Mendem unable to do the same. Good chance, though, as Gadagno just got back to the left side of the net in time to prevent Kutztown from getting back within the game. Now here's Leone with a chance. Firing, and that goes wide. Good power by the sophomore. We may be in Islanders country, but his favorite team, the New York Rangers, Madison Square Garden, not too far from here, at least compared to where Kutztown is to Manhattan. Ritz shoots it on in. This puck rolls high the net. Now we'll get a line change for the Golden Bears. 12-16 to go in the period. 4-1 Stony Brook shots in net, 18-9 Favor of the visiting Golden Bears. Racing after this puck is Duan. Duan on a 1-on-2. Shooting. Glove save Tucci. And he'll hold on. For those of you who don't know, if you actually can see, Zach Tucci has pads that are completely yellow. Some might think it's just to be Kutztown gold colors. His pads, not really gold color. It's more like a mustard yellow. Some people think it's trying to reference Marc-Andre Fleury when he was in the Pittsburgh Penguins, but actually, he's a big fan of Nashville Predators starting goaltender in the NHL, Jussi Saros, who is the successor of Pekka Rinne, and his pads look just like that to this day. Aiden Isak shooting, passing the tag now deflects and goes off the safety netting. As we're inching closer to the midway point of the game, and as of right now, it is 11 p.m., so this game is definitely going to end past midnight at this rate. For the face-off is O'Neill. So it looks like Jansen is on defense tonight. I have never seen that, actually, for Jansen, the sophomore. Pretty sure they never put him there until now, unless there was a game that I wasn't at where he happened to be there, as Cadagna will hold on. We've seen in the past Jackson Foster move from defense to forward, and we've seen a few other players do some different combinations as well. For example, Kutztown D3, we had Braden Neeson moved from offense to defense last year. I'm not sure if he's doing that now. Isak in front of the crease, and it's covered up by Gadag now, as there's a bunch of Seawolves skates in front of the crease. O'Neill for the tie-up. He's got Isak right behind him. Kutztown wins the face-off. Jansen's on the right point. Brings it around the boards, chasing after it's Dan. He'll hold on the left side to O'Neill. No pass to Dan. On the point is Slawinski, tipped by Dan and taken away by the Seawolves. This is Nikita Vodorokov. He'll get some space here, shot from the angle, and that will go whistling wide of Chuchi. They'll take it right behind the goal. Gerstein will had it for a brief moment. And O'Neill swerve onto the right wing for Isak. And he comes over the line. Isak drops it back. O'Neill couldn't get a controlled play there for the Golden Bears. Jansen again, firing one, and now deflect one. The same line, the O'Neill Jansen one has been on the ice now for a good amount of time, as this puck almost goes to the Kutztown bench. It stays out of it, and we continue to play on. Now we get a line change on the back end a little bit for the Golden Bears. And Juco will collect it back. Asher Paul. Oh, actually, no. Is that Asher Paul? Try to see who that went down. No, there was Carter Ritz who went down. I thought I saw 59. That was 96. He almost seemed a little shaken up, but he's okay. Ritz lost the possession. We have a delayed penalty coming up. This is going to be on the Golden Bears. As we'll get a shot on net that's denied by Chuchi. On the bench of Gadagno, cuts up by the Kutztown, and Stony Brook will go on their first power play of the night. Did not see what the penalty was for. I just know it's on Kutztown. Carter Ritz is going in the box of shame for at least 2 minutes. I believe they're giving him a slashing penalty. Again, I don't have official communication with the scores box, but based on the official's signal you just saw there, that appeared to be a slashing minor. Carter Ritz quietly has had a decent amount of penalties, not the most on the team. So after this penalty, it's 27 minutes with the penalties for him, but that is nothing compared to Griffin Carpenter this year, who has 51 penalty minutes. He had a 10-minute misconduct last night. Also, Chase Canestra has 35 penalty minutes. So Ritz is now has the third most penalty minutes of the Golden Bears as of right now. But it could be worse, as the Seawolves are up by 3, trying to get their 4-goal lead right back if they can. Ornikov to the corner. Halisate spins on back. Ornikov controls on the high slot. Escape one there for Sorkin, who already has 3 goals. Ornikov with a slap shot, patted down by Tucci. regardless of schedules, Golden Bears and Seawolves, I would think would both want to go home tonight and enter Thanksgiving week on a high note as Turkey Day is coming up this Thursday. Sorkin with space on the left wing. He's got a 1-on-2, but one number is developing behind him. He'll set one in front, and that shot goes wide over the net. Gerstein was the one who got the chance in front. Had a lot of power to his shot, but did not get the precision he needed there. And Chuchi will hold on that follow-up try as we're nearing the halfway point of the slashing penalty for Cutter Ritz. Off the face of Anello, cleared down. The racer after is Isak, but he's not going to get to it first. But Dagna will sweep it aside for his defenders to pick up for Stony Brook. And one thing I added to the headline for today's article talking about, we're previewing this game, talking about the Seawolves, is the same one I used last time, and it is, what is a Seawolf? Because to be honest, before hearing about Stony Brook, I don't even know what a Seawolf is. I bet the fans up here in Long Island are a lot more familiar with them than I would. Actually, next whistle, I'll go over the Google answer on what even is a Seawolf. Because last time I checked, Seawolves do not swim underwater like fish, and that goes out of play. We'll talk about that right now. So a Seawolf, also what's known as a coastal wolf, is a species of gray wolf found alongside the coast of British Columbia, Canada, and Alaska. I was going to say, because there's no way they'd be called sea wolves that can actually breathe underwater like a fish, unless you had, I don't know, like a sea wolf character in SpongeBob, where they made the sea bear and sea rhinoceros, where it's literally just land animals that are the fish. But anyways, enough about my SpongeBob references. 10 seconds to go in the power play. I just like to get a little silly sometimes calling these games. I have a funny personality, I think. Mancini across to the captain. They'll go to Sorkin. Actually, I beg your pardon. That was the stick there of Wardikoff, and out of the box is Ritz. He'll go right to the bench. Chuchi will cover up. Sorry, I turned the camera there. I forgot for a brief second the Seawolves were in the Kutztown zone. 10 less than 8 minutes to go in the period. 4-1 Stony Brook. The shots of that are now 19-12 Golden Bears. If you guys don't know, I post preview and recap articles of games I broadcast for Kutztown on my website, knickshockey.broadcast.weeby.com. Later this weekend, if not by Monday, I'll have a recap discussing both games for Kutztown this weekend. This game against Stony Brook and their game last night against Rutgers, as Cadagna will hold on after Dan got a good chance on goal. So line change for the Golden Bears. I mentioned this last night in the game against Rutgers, but Kutztown has a crazy record on Fridays this season. As of right now, they have a record of 0-8 when playing on Fridays, and on Saturdays they have a record of 2-3. Sundays they're undefeated, winning 3 straight. So it's straight. Sundays are their days, but Fridays are not. Molokov's denied point blank by the Stony Brook goaltender Cadagna. Gavin Molokov still on the ice there for KU. Had 2 goals last game. They score! It found its way through! And Kutztown has scored 2 unanswered. They're now trailing by 2. Tate Canestra gets another one. His 14th of the season, as it now leads the team in goals. Golden Bears scored 2 straight, and they're now down by 2. Canestra is inching closer to tying his career high. He had 18 goals his freshman year. He now has 14. And we still have a lot of games left to go this season. I'll get word on who got the assists on that goal to begin the third period once I get word from the scores box during second intermission. And Chidi with a scores! Just like that, the Seawolves get their 3-goal lead right back. Mancini from the point goes through Chuchi. A 5-2 lead for the Seawolves. Jack Mancini, the defenseman, with his 3rd goal of the season. And the brief hope Kutztown had there. At least, we still have a lot to go in the game, but the hope they had from that Canester goal gone in the flash less than 1 minute later. And Stony Brook leads by 3 once more. Here's Leon with Grealish. Gets it in front, and Grealish couldn't finish. And from Leon again denied by Cadagno. Leon has quite the amount of in front of the net presence. The last 2 games, I mean, we saw him get denied by Lucas Cohen last night quite a bit, the goaltender for Rutgers University, and he gets denied there off of Nicholas Cadagno, and we'll have an icing here against KU with 6:21 left in the second period. The Seawolves have scored 5 goals on 13 shots on net, so about 38% of their shots on goal have gone in tonight, which is a crazy thing to think. And for reference, their first 4 goals were just done on 8 shots, so 50% of their shots went in, and we have a penalty called here. This is going to be on Stony Brook for a high stick. Pretty sure this is not, actually there's a Golden Bear down behind the net. That is Grealish. He gets back up and he appears to be A-okay. And going in the box of shade for Stony Brook is Saveli Vodakorov. So he goes in for at least 2 minutes for a high stick. It's not a high sticking penalty, no, it's not a high sticking ruling. It is a high sticking penalty, to be precise on that. And another power play for Kutztown to get back in it. They are 1 for 1 on the men advance so far, as Antonio Anella scored on the power play earlier. Ritz across ice for Canestra. Malkov got it in front, and we have a halt of play. What have we here? Not sure why they called play dead. The net wasn't dislodged. Might be just a hand pass. I just missed it. It probably was. Actually, I think it was a hand pass because now they're moving the face-off to the offside dot near the Kutztown bench. So B Power against Dr. Torrich, who has the 3rd goal of the game for the Seawolves. And Stony Brook will clear it ahead for Canestra. Kutztown is 0-4 this season while allowing 5 goals in a game. And they're 0-3 when they allow over 5 goals in a game. Ryder Ritz getting across the goal line. Drops it back. Canestra moving behind the goal. Sends it to Ritz in the circle. It's swallowed up there into the chest of Cadagno, trying to get his 3rd win of the season and also trying to get redemption after losing to Kutztown last time. And we have a bit of an altercation after the play was blown dead involving Canestra and Victor Volerich. And we might have a penalty from the midst of all that. Let's see. And no penalties for Kutztown. I don't think we're getting any calls for Stony Brook either. Minute 20 to go on the KU man advantage. Savili Vodakorov is in the box for high sticking. Antonio Lanella will give it to O'Neill on the circle. That shot into the pillow pads there of Cadagno. Actually, come to think of it, I didn't notice this until now. Cadagno's pads has the Stony Brook logo printed right on it, which is pretty cool. When these teams played last time, Kutztown wore their home gold, and Stony Brook wore their road navy blue uniforms. That shot goes off the crossbar by O'Neill. That's the 2nd crossbar for Kutztown tonight. In the 2nd period, actually, as well. O'Neill will go for the tie-up now against the captain for Stony Brook, which is Nikita Vargorov. His brother, Savali, still in for a minute in the box of shame. Carpenter backheads one to the corner as he gets flanked down there by Vargorov. They get tangled up. Carpenter has snow on his back end, actually, as his puck is kicked by O'Neill. O'Neill will wind one back to Carpenter. O'Neill almost holding on to it. Dan was there as well. Sends one to the back behind the goal. Come to think of it, there's actually one more inactive. I forgot to say pregame. I apologize. Assistant coach Billy Booth is not here for Kutztown. It's ironic because last time Kutztown was on Long Island 2 weeks ago, we didn't have Raul Batista. This time we just don't have Billy Booth. 21 seconds in the power play. Dan, centering Carpenter went off his skates. Couldn't get a shot. Carpenter sweeps at it again. Third try, Carpenter. Gadagno has got it, and the net comes off its moorings. So they'll have to fix that. Actually, I'll try to get word also on why there was that delay we had to start this period, because they're trying to fix something in the crease of Gadagno to start things out. Off this tie-up, won by the Seawolves as Canestra steals it behind the goal. He's got McGinty, who's still recovering from a little contusion with a puck hitting near his eyes, and say not nearly hitting his eye. Actually, yeah, that's correct. I was trying to be correct with my grammar. It didn't nearly hit his eye. Power play has expired. Swawinski will give it to McGinty. Back to the KU president. Swawinski swats it back. McGinty gets taken down. Swawinski once more. They keep playing catch with it. Out to McGinty once more. Foster has it on the right side. He'll shoot one glove down by Gadagno. I think he intended to cover, but he couldn't catch it. Like an MOB catcher. Foster across ice, slap there. Swawinski goes wide. Molotov chasing for the rebound. That's blocked by a defender in front. It went off of Cole Debiainen, and it did not go through. 3.5 to go in the period as Stony Brook leads by 3. A 5-2 lead for the hometown Seawolves. We have a delayed penalty. This will be a cross-checking call on Stony Brook. I just noticed as the whistle went off that Chuchi was heading to the Kutztown bench, but the Seawolves touched up, and KU goes on yet another significant power play. We'll see who's going to the box of shame this time. It is the captain, Nikita Vinokurov. His brother, Savali, was just in several minutes ago, and now they'll each share their same time in the box of shame. Cross-checking penalty on the Seawolves. 2 minutes in the box. Another chance for the Golden Bears to get some momentum and a favorable score on the Jumbotron, and that shot is saved by Gadagno on the scramble. Bauer and Molokov were in the middle of that pile there. Face-off won by the Seawolves in their own zone. Ritz slides one over to Isak. Kutztown finally setting something up here on the man advantage, as it's still just begun, honestly. And Isak will take it behind the goal. Molokov trying to slap it. Oh, it's blocked off the stick in front. Gerstein was the one to make the two-way play. Molokov, nice play to chase Canestra. Pastry waits, and it's poked to the side by Gerstein, and Molokov will have to retrieve it on back. Minute 20 to go in the Kutztown power play. 2.5 to go in the period. Canestra moving on the left side. Taking it behind the goal. Wraps it around. Patted down by Gadagno. And the Seawolves dump it all the way into the Kutztown zone. Line change for both squads. Or slight line changes, I should say. Halfway through the penalty now. Josh Bauer whiffed on the pass, but it did not cost him, as it just went past Sorky. You don't give the puck to him. At least if you're Kutztown, you don't want to do that. Isak saw it forechecked right behind by Savili Vinokurov. And O'Neal backing one to the corner of Isak. Isak set one in front. They score! Gavin Molokov! Ollie, the great one on the power play. Kutztown gets another power play goal. The first one was for Antonio Lanella. That one for Molokov. And Kutztown once again trails by 2. Molokov's third goal of the season. He now has 3 goals in 3 games. He had 2 against Columbia last Sunday. And we have a bit of a delay here for the face-off. All right, everything's good now. 2-goal game here as Gavin Molokov scores his 3rd goal in college hockey. Now we have a delay again. as the officials are talking to the coaches of the Seawolves. Not sure if they're discussing or arguing the goal. They can't challenge it or do video review from Nick's hockey broadcast. That's not how it works. They're certainly discussing some kind of disagreement, I assume. But Molokov is third of the season and third in college hockey. The freshman, who's been having a great season in terms of making playmaking abilities. Again, if you don't know, I over-exaggerate comparing him to Wayne Gretzky for his great playmaking abilities. But he has 3 goals now, and he leads the team in assists with 12. As we still have this delay here. Not sure what that was all about. But the score does not change. No other penalties were assessed, and the game resumes. A 5-3 lead. The last time Kutztown scored, Stony Brook responded from the last goal from Mancini. Sorkin trying to do the same there, but he was denied by Tucci. With a tad less than 2 minutes left in the second period. Isak shooting it on down. Liam O'Neill with Dan. He'll stop, so O'Neill will go over the line first to make it onside. O'Neill trying to make a shuffle pass for Dan. It seemed like Swawinski whipping on the play. As the Seawolves will skate it on back, but it'll be taken by Swawinski. So a 2-goal hockey game with plenty of time left in the game. Matthew Dan, a shot saved by Kutztown as he covers the rebound. So there isn't much time left in this period. A minute 19 left in the second, but we do have an entire third period coming up. As Kutztown, don't forget, they are out shooting Stony Brook 25-14. So that goal by Gavin Molokov. Actually, the first goal we have was from Antonio Onella. Then we had a goal for Chase Canestra, and Molokov was a big one. Every little thing counts here in this game, especially when you're trailing 4-0 at one point. And now it's a 5-3 game, so this game is certainly not over. Carpenter trying to whip it down. It goes past the stick of Lynn. The Dagdale with one hand sweeps it to the side. Gives it to Carpenter, but nobody there for Kutztown. Last minute to play in the second period. So it's definitely promising, not only to see like just the score and how the offense is played after Kutztown's up 4-0, but the power play goals from Anello and Molokov. Definitely good to see, as Kutztown's power play has been pretty inconsistent throughout the year. It hasn't been as favorable as they would like, I would think. Isak keeps it onside. 17 seconds left. Carpenter intending to center. He hit the back part of the net. He gets a shot on net technically on the left post. Then Carpenter gets tackled down. 8 seconds left. Isak's got time. Fakes the shot. Shoots one. Save. Rebound was loose. The Seawolves will control. And that'll do it for the second period. We're going to have a very interesting third period coming up really for both teams as Stony Brook leads 5-3 shots on net. 25-14 Golden Bears. The last goal coming from Gavin Molokov. We'll be back for the third period. And by the time it starts, it'll probably be almost midnight, as right now it is 11:25 p.m.
Blades of Steel.
Third period between the Golden Bears and Seawolves is about to get underway. It's 5-3 Stony Brook shots on that 32-17. Got some more during intermission. That the reason why we had delayed to start the second period is that they did have an issue with the ice on that net down there, but they got that patched up. And the reason why there was a delay after the Molokov goal late in the second period is because Stony Brook thought they might have been a slash, but they did not call it. So for Canestra getting his 14th goal of the season, Braden Jansen and Griffin Carpenter get the assist, and we clearly saw Gavin Molokov score, but the scores table was told that Aiden Isak got the goal. He clearly did not. I re-looked at the film. He had the assist, but sometimes they'll mess up the goal calls. Not that I'm trying to shade the officials. This stuff happens in college hockey, but they're giving the goal to Isak and O'Neill the assist. Really, it's O'Neill with assist, then to Isak, and scored by Molokov. But all that I think Kutztown really cares about is how much they're still trailing by, and they're down by 2. Foster will shoot from long range and now go off the glove there of Gadagno. And actually for Canestra, I forgot to mention yesterday, that's how O'Neill goes wide. Canestra's 5-game point streak came to an end. He's got no points yesterday against Rutgers, but he starts a new one with his 14th goal of the season. Foster's shot, that's blocked in front. O'Neill keeps it in the zone. And centered by Isak, it's floating in front. No one there for Kutztown to get a shot. O'Neill, once again, keeps it onside, but the Seawolves break it up easily. So Kutztown nearly doubling the shots on net against Stony Brook. It's 32-17 right now. They had a much better second period, 2 for 2 on the power play tonight, as they had nothing going for them the right way on the power play yesterday against the Scarlet Knights. Canestra centering pass for Isak over the line. He scores! It's a 1-goal game! Aiden Isak! He'll say in the score she has 2 goals, but really he has 1, and it's a 1-goal game at the rinks. A minute 18 into the third period, and we got a 1-goal hockey game on Long Island. So Aiden Isak, who now apparently has 2 goals on the score sheet, but really it's 1. So that's officially its 14th of the season, but it's going to say 15 as of now. Sorkin, glove save, Chuchi. And now we'll sweep it away. This will be deflected off the stick there of Duan. So Stony Brook was up 4-0. Then Kutztown made a 4-2 hockey game. Stony Brook responded from a goal from Mancini to make it 5-2. And now is a 1-goal deficit for the Golden Bears. And honestly, for Kutztown, I think you couldn't ask for a better time to get that first goal of the period, as it's only a 1-goal deficit with plenty of time left to go in this period, the final period of regulation. Long-range pass for O'Neill, intending for Bauer, couldn't get to it, and he cancels the icing. Carpenter shot, glove save, Gadagno, he'll hold on. One thing I was trying to think about, look back on, is what game to compare this to in Kutztown's recent history, in which, if, say they were to come back in this game would be awfully similar to their 7-4 victory over the New Haven Chargers last year. They had 2 games against them. The first game they won 8-2, and the second game they were down 4-0 to start. Colby Rosen started that game, the senior goaltender for Kutztown at the time, got pulled after 4 goals. Kutztown came all the way back to win it 7-4. And in this game they were down 4-0, and now they're only trailing by 1. Asher Paul putt, bringing it around the boards towards Mendham. But for Kutztown, this is really a testament to getting through adversity and how much they've adjusted after their, no offense, awful first period. And if Kutztown gets offended for me saying that, I'm sorry, I don't insult my teams much, but it was a pretty bad start. But that doesn't matter right now. Slap shot there by Asher Paul, but it's denied by Gadagno with the pillow pad. And Leon will chase for it. Getting to the puck first, though, however, is Savili with the pull-off. Bauer, he was hitting his stick off the face mask of a Seawolves forward, and back come the Seawolves on the wing. That shot saved by Chuchi, denying Nikita Vodakorov. Almost thought Bowers was going to penalize for that, but they let it go. Vodakorov for the faceoff against O'Neal, and Lynn will have to chase it down for Stony Brook. O'Neal curves it to Isak, fakes the shot as he'll hold on, centering, tipped by McGinty, and it's saved there by Gadagno. When Justin Tanjuka got his first college goal last week, Connor McGinty got the assist, his first point as a Golden Bear. Off this tie-up, won by the Seawolves in their own zone. Jabbing after the puck is Foster, trying to shovel it out of the skates there of Vector Korolich. And Lynn's going to hold up defensively for Stony Brook. He'll try to make a left-wing pass. Couldn't connect on the play. Foster will have to go for it. No icing here. He'll go behind the net of Chuchi. Big hit is made there by the body of Swatwinski. And we're going to have a penalty for that collision by the Kutztown captain and president as he cross-checked a Seawolf down in the corner, trying to see who that is. That appears to be Brandon Gerstein, and he appears to be A-OK, thankfully. And Swatwinski will go in for at least 2 minutes. We'll see if they possibly give him a double minor for that, but it is a power play for Stony, putting a big penalty kill for the Golden Bears. It'll be only for 2 minutes. If you're Kutztown, you want to kill this off. If you're Stony Brook, I think you'd be a lot more comfortable getting a lead or an extended lead back. They still have the lead. Kutztown has yet to have the lead for themselves tonight. The only time that Stony Brook didn't have the lead is when it was scoreless off the opening faceoff. Shorkin and Cheney avoiding the other guy wearing 22 and Aiden Isak. Again, it'll be listed on the score sheet that he has 2 goals, but technically, he's only scored 1, but he does have 2 points. Isak tried to hold on to it. O'Neal tried to shovel for it, but he couldn't. Olise over the line. And that'll go wide. I was about to say he was a defenseman, but no, he's a forward. My bad. Olise towards the high slot, connected there by Vodakorov towards the corner. They're trying to center it. It's forecheck there by Anel, and that shot goes wide by the guy who literally just drawed the penalty for Stony Brook, Brandon Gerstein. Halfway through the penalty for Swatwinski. 15 minutes to go in the game. 5-4 Seawolves. Shots in net are now 34-19 Golden Bears. Mancini on the corner. Shuffles it across. Jansen able to clear it to center ice. Sorkin gets to it first, being pressured by Josh Bauer. And Sorkin will have to take it behind his net. Vodakorov, Bauer trying to kill some time. He's doing a pretty good job of this penalty kill so far. The captain will bring it over the line. Gerstein holds on, has room in the slot. Fed to the left wing, and that shot's fanned down. That appeared to be Savili Vodakorov who had the chance in the angle. Now he'll take it. I beg your pardon. It's actually Duan. I thought I saw 18. It was 68. 5 seconds of the power play for Stony Brook. Wrist shot, pass saved by Chuchi, and the penalty expired. Huge penalty kill for the Golden Bears. Duan collided there by the junior Sean Ward. Ward still looking to get his first point in D2. Delayed penalty on the Golden Bears. After Kutztown just killed off a penalty, they're about to go on yet another penalty kill. It's a cross-checking penalty, and it looks like it's going to be on Josh Bauer, a senior and former Parkman Trojan. He is definitely feeling frustrated with that. It looks like he wasn't looking up to the heavens, but he's kind of pulling his head around there. And right after the Swatwinski penalty expired, we got one on Bauer. 2 straight penalties for Kutztown, ironically both by seniors. Actually, I think the clock was running. It started a little bit before the face-off, but I think they're going to keep it going now. Daniel Sorkin, who again has a hat trick in the first period alone, scoring the 3 of the first 4 goals in that period, and for the Seawolves just in general. Falling down there seemed to be Gerstein, and Slawinski caused the recent penalty, unable to clear, but Dan dumps it all the way down. 13 minutes left in this 1-goal affair at the rinks. It's 9 minutes until midnight, and there's still about 13 minutes left in this game. Won't be a long trip home for Stony Brook, but it will be for the Golden Bears. Nikita Vodakurov will hold on behind his net with 50 seconds to go in the Bauer penalty for cross-checking. Sorkin attempted to escape Leon. He'll back him one towards the wing. And hold on, Sorkin behind the goal. Skating around. Drops it back. It'll be collected there by Vodakurov. I'll take it behind the net. And Cheney waits and fires one. Now go wide of the blocker side of Chuchi. 24 seconds of the power play. The deal is over to Vodakurov, and I think we might have a penalty here. I was looking down on my notes for a split second, and something happened behind the net. Someone lost their glove that appeared to be Carter Ritz, and he also lost his stick. I thought they called a penalty there. I don't know why they called play to. Maybe the net was dislodged. I mean, you guys were able to see it. I was looking down at my roster sheet here for a brief second. That's the one downside about having notes. Sometimes if you look down at the wrong moment, you might miss something important. But no foul called on that. 18 seconds left of the penalty kill. Mancini on the right side shoots one. I think that deflected off of Leon as he tried to block it. And the Golden Bears get a big clear, and that should kill off the rest of the penalty. Duan lost it. Carpenter jabs it to Ritz, and out of the box is Bauer. He goes to the bench and is replaced by Isak. Vodakurov drops it to the left side. That shot goes high and wide. Sorkin that close to getting his 4th goal of the night. And Sorkin almost got it back actually, but Isak backhanded away from him. Elsay wristing one. That goes behind the net of Chuchi. 11.5 to go. Chuchi makes another save. Carpenter sweeps one towards the left boards. Racing after it is Isak. He won't get to it first, however. Intercepted pass. Canestra with space for the tie, and that deflects. It does not go through. Canestra behind the net. Trying to center it. Goes off a Stony Brook skate. Does a brief scramble there, and holding on to the puck once again is Nicholas Dagadagna with the save. He's now saved 31 of 35. Off the tie-up, won by the Golden Bears. Isak on the point, and that whistles wide. Slawinski looking for a lane there, and that goes off the pads there of Gadagno. Isak's going to have to skate back towards his own zone, but in the neutral side is Slawinski. He'll backhand one back to Isak. Long-range pass to Molokov, who has a goal tonight. Toe drag shot, deflects right into the glove of Gadagno. So I was saying earlier, Kutztown is 0-4 when allowing 5 goals in a game. They're trying to break that streak tonight. They've never had a game end just scoring 4 goals alone in a game. We'll see if we have any more in this one, as we're about to pass the halfway point of this third and final period of regulation. Lynn unintentionally gives the puck to Bauer behind the net. Something across the deflected off a skate, and holding on to his Gadagno. And Bauer, that time he looks up into the heavens in frustration. I think he was looking to pass, or almost based off his frustration, perhaps he was looking to try to make a fake pass and then take a shot without looking. A no-look pass, or no-look shot, I should say. That's what I meant to say. Yo for Sorkin, and Bauer takes it off the draw. Alisei, this puck goes off the deflected stick of Ritz. Shoots it around. Mancini checked from behind by Bauer, and Mancini's slightly shaken up from that. Good kicking motion by Asher Paul, but you are allowed to kick the puck, just not towards the net. And back come the Seawolves. This is Duan. Shooting one, glove save by Chuchi. Bauer's going to stop. Losing it briefly, but Leung swerves one on the outlet pass to Mendham. Numbers for Kutztown. Mendham a shot, and that deflects off the pad of Gadagno and hits the high glass. It just stays in play, and we continue on. This shot from the side of the cage is saved by Gadagno. He'll hold on with 9:47 to go in the game. Off the draw is saved by Gadagno from O'Neal. They keep playing the music since play is brought back to a halt. Tie up one by KU as Dan shoots it from the left side of the blue line. Towards the right corner is Isak, center from the circle. Dan, save it down now. He's got it. Matthew Dan trying to score goals in back-to-back games there. Not that time for the Danable, as they call him. Off the face-off, O'Neal collects it. Isak, wristing one, and now will be passed back to the left corner. Collected there by the junior Anello. Keeps it onside. Dan around the boards for O'Neal. Unable to make a play there. Jansen playing defense tonight. Firing one. That deflected wide. Tony O'Neal, this puck deflects up into the air. Gravity brings it right down. And Lynn hits it off the boards. The puck comes knuckling back to Jansen. 8.5 left. Kutztown trails by 1. Centering pass for Isak. It went off his skates, so he wasn't able to corral it. O'Neal had it and lost it. Dan on the corner. Around the boards. Swatwinski on the point. Gives it there for Isak with space. Shoots, save. Gadagno. Hold on once more. 8:13 remaining on the clock. Shots are now 37-20 in favor of the Golden Bears. Got the save a few minutes ago. Actually, no. I thought it'd be midnight by the time I checked the clock, but yeah, now it's midnight. Happy New Year, everyone. It is 12 a.m. It's officially Sunday, November 23rd now. Hard to believe we've gone this far within the month of November, and we have some noise coming from the Kutztown bench. Raul Batista was yelling some kind of commotion. I'm not sure what they're assisting here. Perhaps for a line change? I'm not really sure. But we resume play anyway. Foster around the boards. Canestra whacking forward on the left point. Mancini lost it, stolen by Ward, trying to tip it in front. Here's Canestra, and that whacked wide. Chase was right there, but he couldn't get a quality shot. Sawinski's chance goes through, but not past the goaltender. Gadagno, as he has now saved. He's now saved 34-38. And for reference, last time Gadagno saved 34 of 39 before being pulled late in the third period. In relief, coming in for him was James Palma. And James Palma is actually not here tonight, the backup goaltender. Actually, hold on a second. They started scrambling for that shot saved by Gadagno. Erstein clears the rail. What I was trying to say is that Julian Stromermager is actually the backup goaltender for the Seawolves tonight, as they have 3 goaltenders. Only 2 of them are dressed. Holloway bullied there by Carpenter. And then he retaliates, and that's a penalty on Holloway, drawn by Carpenter. And Kutztown, you got to be careful here. You don't want to cause any more penalties. We have at least 1 penalty on the Seawolves. Chase, you got to be careful there, because if you cause the penalty, they might have just gotten rid of their chance of the power play, possibly, but we'll see. Carpenter kind of ran to Holloway at first. I say bullied him, but then Holloway retaliated, and it costed him. So he goes to the box. I'm just going to be hesitant to say there's a power play, just in case if Kutztown is assessed one for the altercation he had with Gerstein after the fact and after the whistle. And we appear to have no Golden Bears heading to the box. So we got a big power play coming up. I know I keep saying big, but again, like Kutztown's been trailing this entire game. 7:07 remains on the clock. It's a 1-goal game. And unless anything else gets called, it's going to be Holloway in for 2. Yep, it's just 1 penalty. Kutztown 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. Gavin Molikoff and Antonio Lamello with the goals. I see they can be 3 for 3. It's the biggest one of the game. Off the tie-up, won by the Golden Bears. Nello with the wrister off the skate of Leon. Another chance goes off the glass and wide, or off the boards, I should say. O'Neal, Carpenter, and Nello fires. Glove save, rebound was there. Trying to get it with Carpenter, but he couldn't get it through. Off the side of the cage, and Gadagno comes out to cover up. They called the face-off false, so they'll have to redo it here. Leon will go for the face-off against. He'll go against Sorkin, and he won it cleanly. O'Neal, right wing pass. This is the Daniel. Matthew Dan, the sophomore from Long Island. Left wing pass for Anella. Tony. Forechecks by Sorkin. And Leon attempt to scoop it up. He'll go to Tony O'Neill. No pass to Griffin Carpenter with a shot save. Rebound was there. Carpenter trying to get it. It's loose. And it goes to the corner. Dan O'Neal. Tony O'Neill firing off the skate. Leon falls down. Gets us off. Blocker save there by Gadagno. Halfway through the Kutztown power play. 6 minutes to go in the game. Kutztown trails by 1. As it's a 5-4 lead for the hometown Stony Brook Seawolves. O'Neal signed that play for Dan. Attempting to center, he could not, and the Seawolves finally managed to clear. Raul Batista looking for a change. O'Neal with Dan. And Anella, wristing one. Gadagno with the save. It's loose. They're trying to make a backhand pass from O'Neal. And it's taken away there by Gerstein. Gerstein, short-handed breakaway. That goes wide. Gerstein had a chance earlier in the second period where he shot the puck way over the net. That time he was all alone, short-handed, and he just denied there. 14 seconds on the power play. This is Matthew Dan for Isak. Couldn't control the puck. Now it's Bauer circling around. Intending the pass for Dan. Broken up there by the captain, but Akorov and Stony Brook gets it out. Power play is over. Good power play for Kutztown. Great short-handed chance for the Seawolves trying to get a 2-goal lead, but it remains 5-4. We've had no goals thus far in the third period. 5 minutes left. A 1-goal game. Carter Ritz at center. Rings it towards Isak. And cleared back ahead by Cole Delaviola. Ritz is going to have to chase it down. On the boards for Bauer. And Ritz. Keep your eyes on Kutztown goaltender Zach Tucci. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to pull him. Yeah, it's only a 1-goal game, but we'll keep our eyes on him anyway. Isak on the left side. Shoots one off the high glass and goes behind the goal. Cut from the point. Shooting one, that's blocked by the stick of Mancini, and he'll skate back to the corner. Drops all back for Sorkin. 4 minutes left here at the rinks. Sorkin on a 1-on-3. Shoots one, pass save Tucci. Off his own rebound, Tucci. 2 consecutive shots. 2 consecutive stops. And there was shots there too. Isak collided by the body there of Anthony Variali. Here's a wrist shot saved by Chuchi. And Variali, I think his stick broke as he goes back to the bench without any in his hand. As it's still there. Picking up his stick is Asher Paul Putt. Tie-up one by the Seawolves. Goes to Foster. Carpenter almost had it there. And Swawinski skates it back on his own zone. Off the boards. Carpenter, good poke check as he takes it on the wing. Carpenter shot, pad save. Great pad save by Gadagno. 3.5 left. Swawinski shovels it, intending for Carpenter. He gets bullied there on the corner. And Cole will attempt to get it to the point of Foster. And Swawinski will have to shiver it back to Carpenter, but they'll have to play catch with it. 3 minutes to go. Nikita Vanakorov gets the centering pass intending for O'Neal. Swawinski will have to hold on here. Chase Cadestra avoids the body there of Halisay. Cadestra gets hit hard there on the boards near the Stony Brook bench. Carpenter looking for a centerman, nobody there since Chase was a bit hobbled from that physical play. 2:30 left. Mancini holds it in his own zone, trying to kill some time. Kutztown will get fresh legs on the ice. Sorkin limps it off the boards. Leon will take it away. Halisay had it. Bauer, 2. 1-on-3 for KU. He's got Mendham on the left wing and Leon. Mendham off the boards. He's got the Gordie Howe number 9 as that come to think of it. 2 minutes left. 1 goal game. Chuchi still in the crease. I'll keep my eye on him and let you know if he goes to the bench for an extra attacker. Halisay tried to clear it by, and Mendham holds on the circle. Hit the crossbar with the shot. Mendham that close to tying the game. The 3rd crossbar we've seen tonight. Bauer, wristing, glove save there by Gadagno. 1:30 left on the clock. The clock is still running. You got to stop it. I think you should put it back to at least 1:31. It says 1:29 right now. And we have a timeout call by the Kutztown Golden Bears. We'll be right back. 1:29 to go. Kutztown trails 5-4. The net is empty. So it's now a 6-on-5 advantage for Kutztown, but no goaltender in the crease to defend it. Isak, a shot from the slide. That's saved there by the Dagdale. Kutztown was down 4-0. Eventually they made a 4-2 game. Then the Seawolves were up 5-2. Kutztown scored the last 2 unanswered. And attempted to tie this game with 1:26 left. They moved the face up to the other dot now. Isak gets it off the boards. Leon trying to battle for it. Puck comes up into the air. It's fouled there by the glove there of Cadestra. Will get a whistle for a hand pass. Fortunately, that is not a penalty. It's just a ruling. So regardless of result, it's going to be a late time back for Kutztown. I mean, it's 12:12. We're probably going to leave here by 1 o'clock, I would imagine. It takes 3.5 hours just to get back to Kutztown. But that's a question for later. Here's Bauer on the right side. Twirls. And Sorkin took the puck away, attempting to clear. Cadestra will give it back to Isak. Last minute to play in regulation time. Kutztown trails 5-4. Trying to come back. Matthew Dad on the corner. O'Neal to Bauer. Isak trying to keep it in the zone. He can't. This puck might go to the empty cage. It does. They score! It was cleared all the way down from the Seawolves end of the ice. Isak was trying to get to it. He could not. And that should do it. It's 6-4 Seawolves. Brandon Gerstein scores the goal. It's kind of fitting because he had a great chance in the second period. He had that shorthanded breakaway, couldn't come up with it, but he gets the empty netter at least. That's Brandon's first goal of the year. And that's going to do it. Stony Brook, going into their Christmas break, is going to get a much-needed victory. They've lost 6 of the last 7. They'll get their 4th win of the year. And Kutztown is now going to have a record of 1-4-1 in their last 6 games. And they will go 0-2 on the weekend. So unless the score changes, they're going to lose 6-4 to Stony Brook. Last night they lost 4-1 to Rutgers University. It is a valiant effort. They had a pretty bad first period, but they played much better throughout the rest of the game. They had some great chances in this one, and we're going to have a penalty here on the Seawolves caused by Anthony Butter-Ailey as he took down Bauer with 9.7 seconds left, but it's not really going to matter at this point. What I was trying to say earlier was how it's going to be a late ride home, because I would think based on the time, because right now it's 12:14, we're probably not going to get out of here until at least 1 o'clock. So, because the players need time to get dressed and cleaned up and all that. And then it's 3.5 hours back, assuming there's no traffic. So, based off that, we might not get back to Kutztown until at least 4:30 in the morning. It's not the latest they ever would get back from a trip. The latest would be Lake Placid when we got back from 6 in the morning. Time's going to wind down here. The Stony Brook Seawolves win their 4th game of the season. And they tie the season series with the Golden Bears, defeating Kutztown a final score of 6-4. Nicholas Cadagno had a very good game for the Seawolves tonight as he saves 35 of 39. Kutztown 0-2 on the weekend as they now have a record of 5-11-1. And the thing is, a lot of these losses they've had lately, including their 4-1 loss last night to Rutgers, and they stay in games. Sometimes they'll outshoot their opponent or they'll keep it close, but in this game, like, they came back, but it just wasn't enough. They never had the lead as they fall 6-4. I'm Nicholas Garofalo. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Nick's Hockey Broadcast. Final score, the Stony Brook Seawolves 6, the Kutztown Golden Bears 4. Kutztown loses 2 straight on the weekend. They'll be back after Thanksgiving on Friday, December 5th against the Columbia University Lions. I will try to make that game, and if I'm not there, I'll see you in January. Good night. Good hockey. Seawolves win it 6-4 on home ice.